Yeah, went in as a private and was inducted at Fort Sam Houston, and went from there to Atlantic City, New Jersey, and took all my basic training and everything. Then from Atlantic City went back to Florida, and Florida to Tennessee, and joined the 932nd Signal Battalion. Oh yeah, they trained, learned to climb poles, string wire. And there we went to Charlotte, North Carolina, and from there we went back to New York. And I guess it was on about December the 1st. We got on the Queen Mary and landed in Scotland on my 19th birthday. And from there we went to England and stayed there till June the 4th. On June the 4th, we went to Southampton and got on a ship, and they had them names covered up on them ships. Couldn't tell what the name of it was. And we were supposed to, D-Day was supposed to be on January the 5th. June the 5th. And the weather was bad and the tide was high, and Eisenhower called it off. So we spent the night of June the 4th and June the 5th on a ship. And on June the 6th, it was 8:30 when we climbed down them ropes and got into an LST and went towards French shores.
How many people are in that LST?
Oh, I don't know, probably 20, 25. And we had a Jeep on there. The Jeep was signed to my squad. And my driver drove the Jeep off into the water. We got off way probably 100 yards. Water was about waist deep.
Jeep went in then?
Hmm.
Jeep went into that?
Yeah, they had all them vehicles with some kind of stuff on them where they wouldn't drown out.
Yeah.
They had the tailpipe go way up in the air where it wouldn't get nicked off. As soon as they got on the beach where the driver had to take all that stuff off. Battle for Ship Texas, we could hear it. It was way back because it was so big it couldn't come in so far. But you could tell when a battleship Texas would shoot. We got the Germans had big old stuff looked like made out of railroad ties and made X's. And they had them out there where they thought that the ships couldn't come in. But CBs and that's it. They done got in there and tore them all out where they could go on. They had them all along the breach. Big old X things looked like I made out of railroad ties to me. Not railroad ties, railroad rail.
So what's the thing that sticks in your mind about that day?
Seeing dead people in the water, almost bloody.
It's almost red.
I think it's 6,000 of them got killed on that beach.
Yeah.
I'm about the only one left. I don't know of anybody left in my company division. I had a friend from Pennsylvania that we corresponded up until 2 years ago, and he fell and hit his head and caused a brain damage. He died. So, but he and I was about the last ones.
Did you get shot when you was going up there?
Yeah, I got shot in St. Lo. I'd raised my leg up to get in my Jeep. I had climbers on and legging. And he hit me right in there. I think he was shooting at the driver. By the time I raised my leg up, you know how the Jeep's got the concave out? I'd raise it up to get in. And about the time he hit me right there, he was in a tree.
Sniper?
The time we grabbed the rifle and everything, they didn't shot him. Yeah, it's awful. We stopped about maybe 150 yards from the beach of the water, and dug in. And we stayed there 2 nights. And then the night gave them some stuff to clear out a lot of the town. We went to Saint Pierre or Saint Marie, Saint Mary, I believe it was Saint Pierre of Glees, a little old bitty town, and we went there and set up headquarters. And then we strung wire from there back to the beach where somebody could watch what was going on and report it to the forward echelon. That's where the picture of it, where the paratrooper was hung in a steeple. The parachute was still there. They left it there, but they had already got that paratrooper down. We thought the Germans had killed him, but people said later on said he lived. I don't know, but the parachute was still there when we got there. And from there we went on up to Germany and went up by Aachen. And that's where they had those great big concrete blocks out all on the thing. They was going to stop the tanks. And our big old tanks had some kind of blade on them. They just pushed them out of the way for the others to go through. And went all over Germany. From there we went to Belgium. Went through Belgium. I was in Belgium doing the Belgian Bulls, where all the snow was on the ground. The Germans kept trying to bomb a bridge, but between at Liège, Belgium, they went from one side to the other. It was a transport or something, and they sent us there in case the Germans they come by, and one plane would come by and drop a lot of flares, and they sent us there with the instructions every time a flare hits the ground, somebody go put the helmet on it, for the bombers couldn't find it. That's how didn't have all the fancy instruments. And on the way back to camp, it was about 4 o'clock in the morning. We were watching it was moonlight night, and we were watching an American and a German pilot having a dogfight, and we were all watching it. Boy, here comes a big old command car. That was what a command car.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, we hit him head on, and I walked over to the guy and I said, "You hurt, sir? Are you hurt, bud?" And he was a full colonel. And God, oh man. He hit his head across the helmet, and he was watching it too. So we got him, pushed him back up on the highway. Then all of a sudden we were sitting there watching, and here come a 2.5 ton truck loaded with a bunch of men. We looked around and they wasn't talking. And as they walked around, I heard one of them say something in German, and I could understand German because I was raised in a German family. And I went and told this colonel, and I said, "That's a truckload of German soldiers in civilian clothes." He said, "Well, there was only 3 of them, him, the driver, and somebody else." And he said, "Well, get your men and surround it." So we got around it, and then we told them, rouse Hans up. And they was all they was wanting to do was go home. They'd stole this truck and stole the being clothes. So he said, "Well, so the only thing we can do is y'all have to follow them. We can probably follow them back into Liège and to the provost marshal, and they took them. Time we got back to Holland, we was in Holland then. Holland and Belgium right there together.
Right.
And we were staying in a Catholic monastery with had orphanage children and stuff, and they let us have a room of whole floor, and that's how we stayed out of that snow. We got back to camp. From there, we went on to Holland, then Germany, and I got as far as a little place called Stetersburg, and we stayed there for about 6 weeks, waiting on the Russians to take Berlin. We got there and we went into where the Germans, the Russians had taken Berlin and all that. And we got over there to try to get them Russians to let us go. We just want to go see Berlin. They wouldn't let us go. In fact, I went back and played. I played on an all-star baseball team that the Army had. And we went back to Paris and played in the baseball tournament while we was waiting on them Russians. Mhm. Yeah. No, I don't want no war. When I came back from, I got out of, we was in Marseille, France. Then took all our malaria shots and everything. They was fixing to send us to the Pacific.
Yeah.
And we were in laying on cots out in the alleyway because it was summertime in August. And the Japanese war was over, so they let us come home. I got home on October the 22nd of 44. Went to work for South and Bill telephone on November the 12th and worked for them for 42 years. I made supervisor as soon as I was 21 years old because they were, we was, I never was. The only time we ever got close to a bomb is they dropped the bomb in that monastery we stayed in. It was a square like that and had a garden out in the front, and one bomb went right in the middle of that darn thing, but it didn't go off. It went about 10, 12 feet in the ground. Well, we had to evacuate while we come in and took that bomb detonator out of it. But it broke the windows in the darn building. It was hit so hard. We heard you could tell the difference between a German plane and an American plane because the German plane ran on diesel. American plane ran on gas. You know how an old diesel used to pump, 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 pump. That's how we could tell the difference. We could hear them tell.
Huh. Okay.
You see, they wouldn't let us have a diary.
So you was already up on the bank and going into town when they shot you. A sniper shot you.
Yeah, I would. Well, we were stringing wire.
Yeah.
Our job was to keep wire for communication from the airports to always back to the echelon, whatever it is. I never saw Patton, saw Eisenhower. He come by one time in a caravan.
Yeah.
He had motorcycles in front of him, everything. Had planes flying over him constantly.